So I was in the shower, I was cleaning my ass and making all sure it's all sparkly, spanky clean.
I'm not the funny one, I'm the pretty one.
Cock shots. I just checked myself out.
Candles, music, wine, and then lube up and get on top.
The glory hole's like a dick theater. I've imagined your family.
Which means your pants had better come off. Mama needs playtime. I think
We're not sluts.
we just love love. Hello, ladies and gentlemen. This is Angela.
This Bradford.
This is the gentleman.
Yay! We have the gentleman back. And as you are listening to this, we are currently in Mexico.
Tengo un gato en los pantalones. What?
Inglés?
Chupame.
Chupame?
Chupame.
What does that mean?
Chupar is to suck.
Oh my god. Tume? What does that mean?
It's the...
What am I sucking on?
It's the command form of suck. And its object is me. So chupame means suck me.
Anyway.
Chupame, beautiful.
Anyhow, welcome back, listeners. sorry for the tangent.
Hey, look.
There might be a few.
we're less than a minute in. We're already tangenting.
Yeah.
Look, we're on holiday, so...
Yes. And coming up, we have November 22nd.
Yes.
It's a Friday.
Yes.
It's going to be the next Pendulum Party, so Pendulum 13. Woohoo! Which is super exciting, so we will all be there.
Yes.
And yeah, it's just kind of amazing that we've had, this will be 13 of them. So we've had a dozen.
A baker's
already.
dozen.
Yeah.
It would be a baker's dozen.
It's really cool.
Yeah, that's awesome.
So yeah, if you're in the Sydney area or anywhere and you want to come visit the Sydney area, come down and join us.
Yeah. Plane flights to Australia are cheap.
Well, if you're elsewhere in Australia, it's probably easier.
My God, this is great. Yeah, it'll be fun. I'm excited.
Yeah.
It's going to be fun.
Yeah, and we're getting into summer, so it'll be warm, so it
Yes.
makes it easier for outfit planning.
Yes.
Uh-huh.
What are you wearing to the next pendulum?
I don't know, I'm going to find out. Probably some latex.
I might be wearing one of the outfits that didn't arrive in time for this holiday.
Yeah, hello, Australia Post. You order something. Yours was my favorite, where it's like, I'll receive it on the 29th of October. Or the 23rd of November. Like, what, you mean like one of the days in between? No.
Yeah.
Australia.
Yeah. Shipping is not our strong suit down here.
No, but which leads us to something that's exciting. So if you go to adamandeve.com and use the offer code BYTHEBI, BYTHEBI, you will not only get free shipping.
You will get a sexy item for him.
Sexy item for her.
One for both of you.
Some videos to watch and you know, learn some stuff from. Brown chicken, brown cow. Yeah.
And I think there's like 10 other free gifts.
Yeah,
in
but like they just keep
there.
doing shit in a box. It's great. I mean, they're already shipping it to you, so you know, like they're just gonna fill the box up. So
and you get one item for almost any one item for 50% off,
which is even
pretty cool.
So that's that makes a difference.
We've had a few folks on Instagram like take their little screenshots and saying we've got good stuff coming in, so we're excited to see what they're getting.
Yeah,
yay!
Please share.
So
I'd like to see.
that's adamandeve.com and use the offer code BYTHEBI, BYTHEBI, and
Get some good stuff.
when they ship stuff, you know, it's actually more on time than
within
eBay and
the
Etsy
next
and-
month or so.
and Alibaba, like
AliExpress.
whatever. I don't internet. We have some more towels coming in.
Yes, we do.
We have like a crate of cum rags, I
All
should
the
say.
Patreon people.
Yeah, all of our lovely Patreon listeners, you should have your Patreon towels in your inbox. Your
Cum rags, yeah.
They should all be there soon, if not already. Yeah, and we got a bunch more coming in. And I'm
Are
really
they
excited.
towels coming in or coming in towels?
Those are extra. I keep jokingly saying like we should have a Patreon level where Angela cleans herself up with one of the towels that we just put it in like a vacuum seal.
Sealed, yeah.
But that's even weird for me. I mean, if that's your yum, cool.
Doesn't bother me.
It doesn't bother me,
No.
but you know, it's just kind of
I'm going to use it anyway, so.
Yeah, you are. Oh my god. So if this is what you want,
let us know.
yeah,
We'll see what we can work out.
what else do we have going on? Anything else exciting?
I think that's pretty much it, because we've just had so much lead up to getting to Desire.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We've been busy.
Yeah.
And all of us look tired.
Yeah.
But that's good, because, we...
Well, it was a long flight.
Yeah. Yeah.
Awesome. Okay, so should we get into the meat and taters?
Yes, but I already ate a whole pizza, so I'm not sure I can stomach so much food.
Twig and giggleberries, then.
Oh, say that again.
God bless
The
you.
twig and giggleberries.
Say that one more time.
The twig and giggleberries.
What is that?
Chicago balls.
Oh.
Giggleberries.
Giggleberries.
Yeah.
But, but he said it like he was a Muppet. It's a twig giggleberries. Come on, just put them in your mouth. It'll be great.
It's a treat all the family can eat.
Mom, Grandma, and Uncle Steve.
Oh my god.
He's a Muppet. It's great. Not Uncle Steve, the gentleman.
I mean, Uncle Steve might be too.
He might be.
We don't
Actually,
know.
the gentleman's Uncle Steve is probably. Yes. Okay. Yes. Sorry. Let's talk.
So we've had some questions about kinky stuff. And specifically, how do I know what my kink is? Because we talk a lot about, like, different kinks and different fetishes and things like that. And so how do you find out what it is that you're really into? Especially if you're just kind of starting out, either opening up a relationship and exploring that area, or you're starting to explore kind of the fetish and the kink world. And sometimes there may be something of interest and you're like, I don't know if that's a thing. Or if you're just like, there's all these things out there, I don't know what my thing is. So yeah, I think we should kind of talk that through and address that a little bit.
Cool.
So one way that you can kind of start thinking about what is your kink. Do you have a kink? Because I guess that's the first thing, is you don't really have to have a kink. But at the same time, there's things that you may not think of as kinky.
I think that everybody has a kink.
I was
Actually
going
kind of are.
to ask the question, when does it become something that you enjoy doing often enough that it becomes a kink?
So you're saying that at what point does it go from I'm curious to I'm kinky?
Yes.
So I think it's something that, I think a kink is in my opinion, it's something that is outside of the quote unquote normal, like, cultural norms and standards. So basically, because if it's to be normal, it has to be statistically common within the population, right? And if it's something that's not as statistically common, I would say that that's something that would be considered a kink.
Yes.
So Wikipedia defines it as the use of non-conventional sexual practices, concepts, or fantasies.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I think that can be as simple as when I was a kid, I was spanked with a wooden spoon or a hairbrush, and now that turns me on.
Right.
Yeah.
To, this thing that people see women or men in heels. Mm-hmm. And that specific sight turns them on. And I think that's the question, is at what point does it become a kink? Like, if you just like, oh, I like people in high heels, that's, that might not be a kink. But if it's, I only like people in high heels, then it's a kink. I mean, it's how do you say it,
Yeah.
Yeah, but like there's many things that I enjoy doing, but to myself, do I think I'm kinky? Not really. But then if I told half of the things that I get up to somebody else, they're like, "You one kinky fucker."
Yeah.
Yeah.
Normal is only an average.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. So I suppose from my perspective, looking at am I kinky, asking that question, I automatically say no because of the total sum of experiences that I've had to this point. It's been a gradual process. It's not all of a sudden there. So,
well, I mean, it is one of those days that one day you wake up, roll out of the bed, you go to the bathroom, wash your hands, look in the mirror, and go, "Oh, I'm one kinky motherfucker."
Because you've got slut written on your forehead. You haven't taken the ball game out yet.
I got a mushroom stamp over my left eye. But it is one of those things that, like, one person's normal is another person's naughty.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that goes the other way. One person's naughty is another person's normal.
Yeah.
And we said all the time when people are like, oh, the blah, 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 and we're like, yeah, we call it Thursday.
Yeah.
Or, it's that face you pull when someone says, oh my God, how disgusting is that? And they've only listed half the shit that you're into.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Like, well, actually, it's a little bit fun, too.
It's like, oh my God, this weekend was so exhausting. I'm so sore. I'm so tired. I'm so worn out. And we're going, yeah.
And that's just my ass.
Yeah. So it is very much I think the only person that can really say, we can't say whether or not a listener has a kink, but I think the only person who can truly say it is yourself. Like, does it, and I think it's one of those things that if you know that what you are into is something that maybe you wouldn't tell a lot of people. You would only tell the people that you do play in this general way with, or maybe some really close friends.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But, I mean, let's be realistic. A bunch of people going out, together will often talk about sex.
Yeah.
If you would feel uncomfortable bringing up something in that group when everybody's talking about sex, it might be a kink. Mm-hmm. I think that's probably the first red flag, that it's probably a kink.
That's a good way to look at it.
I think for a long time, I suppose it's important to realise you can have more than one kink too.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Like,
yeah.
If kinks were flowers, we would have a botanical garden.
Yeah, you don't have to have, you might have one that is perhaps like a more major or more dominant kink, but that's not even for sure. There could be a lot of things that you're into. I would say even for us, there's a lot of things that we're really kind of into pretty equally well, I would say.
And like we often say, too, I think it's important to note that just because you've never acted on something doesn't mean that you don't own it. So there are things that I'm kind of turned on by, but I've never actually done. But it is something that, I would consider
or done so very few times that you would consider it being...
Yeah, it's still fresh.
Your go-to. But it is something that you have wanted to enjoy for a long time.
Because
fantasized for about.
Yeah, and it can depend upon your opportunity and how... Do you have a chance to act on it ever, or if so, even frequently or not? And a lot of times the answer is no. But that doesn't mean that it's still not your thing and it doesn't turn you on. Right,
exactly. So the way, if for listeners at home, what I would do is just start thinking about things that you wouldn't want maybe a certain, your intimate circle, your non-sexual intimate circle to know about. And think, yeah, that might be a kink.
Yeah, things that maybe you fantasize about, things that turn you on, things that you're interested in, and you're just kind of curious. Maybe you don't know a lot about it, but you want to kind of look into it a bit more. That's where I would start looking at to make a list of things of potential kinks and fun things to potentially explore a little bit more too.
And I'm also saying, just to add to that, there's no kink shaming. You do you, and that's not what I mean when I say people you wouldn't want to tell the people around you. But let's be realistic. Some people judge us for our kinkiness.
Yeah.
And they judge wrong. There's so many better things to judge us for. Like our anal aptitude. So yeah. No kink shaming here. Right. You do you.
So I did find an article that listed the top 5 kinks in the U.S.
Ooh. Are we going to try to guess them?
Oh, yeah, sure. Okay, what do you think number 1 would be?
Oh, foot fetish.
Yeah, me too.
No.
Really?
Oh.
No. That's not even in the top 5.
What?
You're kidding.
Okay, is like spank rope bondage.
BDSM is number 2. And it's the overarching BDSM.
Okay, so that's a lot of stuff.
So that's a lot that's covered in there. Yeah.
Yeah, that's a lot of...
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a lot of things that are in there. Okay, so that's all impact play and tying up and master slave and... Yeah.
There's a lot of stuff that kind of can fall into that BDSM category.
Wait, are they considering things like threesomes a kink?
Group sex.
Ugh,
Group sex.
Yes.
I mean, sure, fine.
Group sex.
I guess
sex with multiple partners, because most people don't do it.
It's a Thursday.
But many people don't do it.
Yeah, fair enough.
Yeah.
Wait, so that's the very definition of group play. Many people do it.
He does have you there. I mean...
Oh, God. Really?
I have had you there.
Okay. And he's had you there. Yes. Yes.
Uh-huh. Yeah, so that's number 1, is group sex. And then number 2 was BDSM. Number 3... This is a very general one as well, so don't get too specific.
I don't know.
This one's hard. I'll give it to you. It's novelty and adventure. So it's having sex in different places, different positions, doing things that are, again, just outside of your quote-unquote normal that you wouldn't usually do. Using certain sex toys, stuff like that. Yeah.
Okay. But
that's so general.
I'm just going to say using a sex toy is not a kink.
No.
Like, if you can only get aroused while using sex toys, that's a kink. Using a sex toy because tee-hee-hee, it's not a kink. What is this website?
This was Vice.com.
Yeah, but again, that's to you with all your vast experience.
Yeah, but still, no. Because, like, even my mom had sex toys.
Yeah.
And I'm sure she's kinky, but, like, her sex toy wasn't a kink. I'm still saying that, like, a true kink is something that you have to incorporate in.
But
like, it's important.
But, like, the novelty and adventure, though, could be, like, your kink is having sex outside.
Sure, exhibitionism, stuff like that.
That's actually
voyeurism.
the next one.
Okay,
the next one is voyeurism and exhibitionism.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's why I always take binoculars when I travel.
Yeah.
Is I like to look into other windows. I'm that guy.
And I'd say
You
most
just
of
hand them
us...
out. I'm going to run over there. Watch me.
Most of us do it while we're walking down the road. You know, if you're walking down the sidewalk, you're looking in windows
for sure.
and you just want to see what's going on.
Yeah.
Some of us breathe on those windows. I don't.
Some of us don't do it at 3 a.m. in the morning.
God, we sound like bad people. We're not bad people.
Okay, so the fifth one is partner sharing and non-monogamy.
Oh my God.
So it's a very...
So that's pretty close to related. Oh, well, no, I suppose. No, okay, fair enough. It's
No, I mean, I get it. Yeah, I do get it.
Because to us, a lot of these things are things that we do all the time.
Normal. They're normal.
Yeah, but they're not normal for the vast majority of people.
And I think this touches right on what you said earlier, gentlemen, is that... am I kinky? Well, clearly you one kinky motherfucker.
Yeah, it's like tick, 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 tick.
But even I'm like, oh, that's not a kink. That's not a kink. And I'm like, all right, well, fine, maybe it is. When I have the top 5 kinks, all of them.
But some of those are also very general categories. So I think that doesn't, in my mind, that it needs to be a lot more narrowed down. I feel like because that's a good place to start. But then if you're thinking that sure BDSM may be my kink, well, that's a very big category. So let's narrow that down a little bit. And the same thing with even non-monogamy. Again, there's a lot of ways that can look. How is it that you think that should look?
Yeah, that's right.
So, but it's a good starting point to kind of think about these
There's a lot of subcategories in all of
that.
Yeah.
Sub-categories. There's also some dom categories. So, taking a jump from that, there is a website that we did ages ago as part of the Danny Lakey show. He had us come in and take a test, and then we discussed our test results online. And it is the website's called bdsmtest.org. And so, is it perfect? No, not at all. But I am curious to talk to you guys about it. We took the test. All 3 of us took the test just now. And
I passed. It says I got 100%.
We'll see. Well, let's touch on it here a second. So basically you go through 100 questions, and it's questions like, do you either completely disagree with something, or you absolutely agree with something, or somewhere in the middle.
Yeah.
That's your choices.
Yeah. Because there's 7 choices there. So it's like, goes from strongly disagree to kind of an intermediate neutral to then strongly agree.
So, but it's a statement, and then you respond to it. Then once you're done with this test, you get the results summary. And it tells you what kinks you may or may not have. And more importantly, the kinks that you do not have specifically. So I'm curious, these kinks go like 100% to 0%.
Yeah.
I had 5 things that are 100%.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Okay. 5 things I am 100% into. How many 100% did you have?
Just 1.
Ooh, and you?
4.
Interesting.
Wow.
Okay. So, since you had the fewest, what was your one thing that is like 100%, no questions asked, your kink?
Okay. I didn't know that this was a kink.
Oh,
before we start, but it is correct. Okay. It's 100% me.
Non-monogamous?
100% experimentalist.
Oh, you know what? That is very true as well.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I have never heard you say no to something.
or someone.
But I see that as, and that's true as well, actually. But I see that as such a positive thing. So experimentalist for me was 58%.
Right.
For me, it was 66%.
So there are things like you're one of those humans that like immediately you're like, absolutely, let's try it. Let's go. Let's try it. And if you don't like it, then you just don't do it again.
Well, you do it twice. You talk about that. Yeah.
He does learn.
Yeah. But I think for me, the reason why I was a little more hesitant and why it didn't clearly rank higher for me is because I like trying new things and different things, but there's also some things that, like, I've never done. Like, I've never done, like, playing as a child or baby or anything like that. But I can tell you pretty straight off that that's not going to be my thing.
Yeah,
like, I'm just not going to enjoy it.
Which was a few of the questions where it was that exact thing. So
I think that's why I was kind of downgraded a bit on the experimentalism, because I was like, there are things, though, that, sure, I could try it, but I know going into it I'm not going to enjoy it, so why waste the time, kind of?
Yeah.
So I don't know.
But that was strange, because on those questions, I think I totally disagreed as well.
Yeah, but that's looking at something else, though. So
right,
I don't know what the experimentalist questions were,
Yeah.
but yeah, I ranked 66% on that. So we're pretty close.
Yeah.
Bradford and I are.
So my top one, and I'm assuming they're in no particular order since they're all 100%.
I would guess.
Exhibitionist was 100%. What was yours?
Exhibitionist.
Yeah.
I had 72% for that.
Interesting. At what point are you not an exhibitionist?
At what point are you ever shy?
Yeah, exactly. I'm curious to see what...
I don't know.
I'd love to know what you
questions they were.
answered that got that.
Yeah.
Number 2 for me is Switch, which is different from the last time that I took this test, which is anybody playing at home. A Switch is somebody who is both dominant and submissive in sort of an impact play, rope bondage, Dom's Masters kind of thing.
So Switch for me was 25%.
Yeah, because we all know that you were shocker, right?
Yeah, total sub, baby. So I was 74% Switch.
Okay.
What was your next 100?
Primal Prey.
Oh.
Prey.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
That makes sense.
Primal Prey, yeah. And that's because honestly, that's one of the things that I really like, that idea of being hunted, of being pursued, being chased.
Okay.
I really like that.
I've got Primal Play on here as well. Primal Prey, 65%.
Okay. So it's interesting. What's yours?
Angela?
1%.
1%. Oh my god, that is awesome.
Yeah, but I bet you've got Primal Hunter there for for 99.
No. 73.
I love it. So just to clear up too, primal, I'm going to read the definition of primal and what primal prey is. Primals are mainly focused on their natural instincts, and they enjoy letting their inner animal out during sex. The key part for primal's play is that the participants show their raw, emotional, sexual feelings during play. All of the labels, roles, and protocols go out the window, and the prey, you, me, can become a snarling, it says growing, but I'm pretty sure they mean growling, clawing animal hell-bent on getting away from its predator. Preys typically match well with primal hunters.
Yeah.
And yeah, that idea is kind of fun. I like that kind of like grr.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what were you, gentlemen, on the hunter?
48%.
Okay.
My hunter was 77%, which to me
switch.
makes sense with that switch.
Yeah.
There are people, and I've found a few recently, that I enjoy that hunt and the grr.
Yeah.
And there's someone at Desire, someones at Desire, that I'm very much looking forward to playing in that sort of hunter position. Very looking forward to.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
What was your next 100%?
Voyeur. Which
I had 100 for that.
Yeah, which again goes back to looking into windows.
Yeah.
Yeah, I had 91%.
Yeah, we all motherfuckers.
Yeah.
Well, who doesn't like watching other people have sex?
I know.
Please.
Yeah. It's hot. It's like live porn.
Yeah, it is. It is. Like, the best thing is watching yourself have sex in a mirror. Is that still voyeuristic?
That's narsa voyeuristic. Voyeur narcissistic. Voyeur narcissistic. Oh my god.
That, you know what? That happens so often at the club.
Yeah.
Because I specifically remember, because it's in my spank bank. It's been given access quite frequently. I remember the first couple I played with at the club. I was having sex with the lady. There was nobody in the room when I started. And I'm not sure at what point people came in because I was just focused on what I was doing.
Yeah.
And then there was a point where someone tapped me on the shoulder and said, you're amazing, can I be next? And I looked up and went, well, yeah, of course you can. And then when I looked in the mirror, there was 30 people standing behind me and I was like, oh, this is good.
Look at me go.
I love that. Oh, take a number. Oh my God. Now serving 74. Now serving 74. That would have been better. Oh God. English is hard for Bradford tonight. Now that would have been better if I said now serving 69. That would
Yeah.
Damn it.
You missed the opportunity.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, he was 5 behind.
It's true.
Fair enough.
It's true. First in, best undressed. Oh my God. Okay, so my next and last 100% was non-monogamous.
Okay.
What was yours?
100.
Okay, and yours?
93.
Okay.
That was my second highest score.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So then my other 100% was dominant.
Okay, shocker.
Yeah.
My dominant was 39%.
Dominant.
It's on there somewhere. Starts with a D.
Oh, it is too, yet 46%.
Yeah, so,
Yeah. Makes sense.
yeah, it does.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Heck, I'm just...
Do you know what? Actually, I think I was more dominant in the past, and now
Angela has
more.
broken you.
Yeah. But I find that now I enjoy that more.
Yeah.
So,
But that's as you kind of learn and grow and you have different experiences. We all change during life. And I'm sure we took this, a year or so?
Probably
year and a
2
half,
years ago
2
now.
years ago. And I'm sure our results are probably similar-ish, but slightly different than they were before. And we take it 10 years from now, and it's bound to be different still.
Well, and that's the thing. We're constantly changing.
Yeah.
We're constantly evolving and becoming really different people.
Yeah.
And you find things that turned me on 10 years ago, are not what turned me on now.
I also kind of think because I've been very fortunate, the people that I've met who are more dominant, I've really enjoyed the experience. Yeah, you know what I mean? Like, I didn't have I haven't had that bad experience where I've gone, I'm not sure if I really like that or not. So I've been extremely fortunate in that circumstance.
Fair enough, yeah.
So if you look at, it looks like everything that's in the 75% and up is green.
Yes,
so I think, which means that it's more, sort of listeners at home, the colors on this list are green, yellow, and kind of orange and red. So everything that's green looks like it's 75% and up. I've got...
Do you have anything in the 60s? Because the 60s are kind of between a green and a yellow.
I have I have one at 61, but it's more yellow than it is green.
Okay, because I've got 65 and 66, and they're still pretty green.
So
yeah.
My only other thing that is green-ish is a 75%, which is pet.
Okay. So I've got quite a bit that's green still. So I've got, for me, 97% is rigor. And... What were you on that, gentleman?
I'm 49%,
Okay.
but then I had my other 90% was rope bunny.
Okay.
Oh, you want to be tied up?
Yeah, and I do.
Yeah.
I always feel like my arms are flailing around the place, so I want my arms tied up, so I don't have to worry about what to do with them.
Remember, you're a Muppet.
Oh, yeah, that's right, I am.
For me, rigor was 50% and rope bunny was 10%.
So
which I think is interesting, but I know why, I think. So I used to like the idea of being tied up, but now that I have the shoulder issue, that idea is less appealing.
Yeah. So for me, rope bunny was 2%, which is interesting because I'm still curious, and this will likely happen at sometime this week at Desire, but I want someone to tie me and see what it feels like, because I've only really had Lawrence tie me up just like my wrists and a little bit and stuff, but not like, and I guess he did the chest harness at one point, but no, I don't know, I'd be curious to try it a little more, but at the same...
I did one on you once.
Yes,
Yeah,
we've
you
got
did.
pictures. Those are good pictures.
Yeah.
So I'm not sure, though. I don't know if it's a thing that, like, it's okay. I don't know. I want to explore it a little bit more. But for now, and I think also Rope Bunny for me became so low at 2% because there were a number of questions about just being tied up in general, and I'm picturing like being tied up on the S, being tied up like, and that to me just
you're seeing it more as a restrained, not as an art piece.
Yeah,
and that I understand. Like art piece is different.
It is.
Right. Well, see, those questions I was thinking restrained, not art piece. That didn't into my mind.
And when I was reading them, I was reading them
because I want to be restrained. Yeah. So that's why. That's where the difference is. Yeah.
And that was me as well, as I'm looking at them as restrained. But then I'm like, well, if we're doing it as an art piece, I'm more apt to do it. But again, I think that's a perfect example between what's a kink and what's not.
Yeah.
I think an art piece I don't see that as a kink.
Yeah.
But if it's a restraint for sex, then it's a kink.
So my next big one, so Brigger was at 97. 96% for me was sadist.
Really?
Yeah.
Sadist for me is 3%.
Mine was 55.
Wow, you people like to... just both of you want to hurt me.
Hello.
Yeah.
What's interesting about this is, for me, sadist is 3%, masochist is 4%.
Oh.
So I don't want...
Pain's just not your thing as much.
Yeah, and I think the more we play, I don't mind the control. And I don't mind, like, some spanking and impact play. But I think I prefer control, I should say. Yeah. And it goes back to that pet thing.
Yeah.
Like, I want to be taken care of and cuddled, that kind of dominance.
So what you said one was 4%, one was 3%?
Yeah, 4% was masochist,
okay.
3% was sadist.
Because my masochist was 56 and my sadist was 55.
That's so funny. You're 50% more than me.
So my sadist was 96 and my masochist was 0.
So you like to hurt, but fuck if they try to hurt you.
Yeah.
I think it's interesting, because I do like some impact play, but it's not. And
I will say that I think that's something that's changed for you as well, because we used to do a lot more. But anymore, most of my impact play comes with a gentleman or others. Like you and I don't do it as much. Well,
and what I found is one of the things I love is when the three of us are playing in a sort of dominance setting. Angela's always in control. The gentleman is always getting whacked on. And I'm always in pet mode, just curled up in the corner, like chewing on something. I love that. And, it's like, it's something that for me, I really enjoy that because you're still in control. Yeah. And there's like, and you're still completely out of control. But that's something that does it for me. Yeah.
Well, just with the beating? You whacked me across in the shoulder blades, which was I really haven't experienced that before.
Yeah,
and that was fucking amazing.
Yeah, but that's something that with other people, like at the club, I've done, impact play. A lot of people, of course, like their ass to be hit.
I think I'm a real wimp when it comes to my ass getting hit.
Yeah, that's the only part of me that I like is getting hit. Yeah. That's the only part.
My shoulder blades feel like, this is where I should be hit. I don't know. It's just weird.
Yeah, and some people that I've played with at the club like their shoulders and kind of upper back hit, but that's something that Bradford's never really liked. So I've always stayed away from the back, even with you. Because we hadn't really talked about it for some reason. I don't know why, but I would just always kind of stay towards the ass because that's what I was used to with Bradford. And for some reason this last time I was like, I want to do something a little more. And so I asked you.
Yeah, you did ask me, and I was like,
so we gave it a try, and you seemed to really like it.
I really liked it, yeah. Yeah, I really liked it.
So I'm curious, on pet, what were you two? I was 75%.
43.
1. Extremes.
I was just about to, that's the next question I was going to ask. I found myself a lot of these going 100% agree or 100% disagree. There was very little. I think maybe a handful of the questions I was somewhere in the middle.
That, and I thought, well, no, maybe if there's a little bit of something in me that's curious, I didn't because I didn't want it to be so yes or no.
Yeah,
and some of the you're questions, an experimentalist.
Well, yeah, exactly. Damn, this thing's pretty accurate. Yeah.
And I tried to think about. So I always start off in the middle with anything, and then I think, which way am I swayed, and kind of go along there. But mine is fairly polarizing. There are some in the middle. So as we continue going down, dominant we already talked about was 93%. 81% is owner. So I've kind of had a bit of a jump there.
Oh, well, I'm a 1% for that.
Yeah. You're probably low, too.
I'm 1% for owner as well. Yeah. And for people who are curious what an owner is, owners own pets. Yeah. So we often use the word handler for you rather than owner. Mm-hmm. Because that's one problem I do have with this and I think why I'm not higher on the pet is because they see pet as the way they're describing pet is almost a 24/7 sub pet.
Yeah.
And that's not what I am.
Because the way they describe it here, it says, is property of their owner in daily life.
Yes.
Sexuality is not necessarily involved. The role often features some form of animal, role play, puppy, kitten, etc., although that's not a strict necessity. But it does say daily life, and it's not something that we do daily.
Yeah, and so for owners,
yeah.
it says owners own pets / properties and take responsibility over them on a 24/7 basis.
I think that there possibly could be much different results if it were based on
Occasional.
during your sexual activity.
Yes, not as a 24/7.
Not as a 24/7. Yes.
Agreed.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And that's one problem I do have with this questionnaire quiz. Is the quiz itself is a bit all or nothing.
Yeah. Because there were other categories that really, and some of the categories actually, by definition, do lend themselves to extremes. You're kind of one or the other.
Yeah.
But some of them, like that one in particular, there was a bit of like, but it could be like during kind of play, but not necessarily 24/7. It doesn't have to be done 24/7.
And that's where I started to go in between, because I would, but not 24/7 kind of thing. So
Yeah.
So for me, 61% was submissive. Mm-hmm. We've already talked about my experimentalist.
What was it? How many percent?
61%.
Ooh, I'm 63. Ooh, pretty close.
And you're
there.
what? 2?
Submissive?
1?
2?
2.
You were correct.
I know that nipple. That one nipple that's submissive, she got it pierced.
She beat it back into shape.
Submit to this. The other, you notice the other nipple's like, I'm fine.
Nope, I'm good.
I told you to shut up, Larry. This next one really bothers me.
Okay.
I've got one that bothers me on here as well.
And so I am, I don't know, I'm just ashamed. And there's no shame in this. There is no shame in this.
Does it start with a V?
It does.
Yeah, that's the same one that's been bothering me as well.
Oh, yeah.
Vanilla. And for this, it says, vanilla people enjoy regular standard sex and relationship models. Look, I do enjoy regular standard sex. And I enjoy regular relationship models.
Mm-hmm.
But
I don't mind the odd model every now and then.
it says nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong with that as long as you're having fun.
But again, it is misleading, I think, a bit by how they define it.
What percentage were you? Vanilla?
50.
I was 18.
50.
Oh, God. God, we're so much alike. No wonder she likes us.
How am I 50% vanilla?
I have no idea how I'm 50% vanilla.
But I think it's because they define it as, I'm going to say quote-unquote regular sex in relationship models, but, like, we all have regular quote-unquote sex, and it is something that we enjoy. It doesn't always have to be, like, super kinky to enjoy it.
Yeah.
No, but...
Yeah, no, and I agree with that.
Yeah.
But it's just kind of weird. Like,
I don't know what the questions were specifically that
No,
brought
I
that
don't
out.
It's still strange that a bisexual, polyamorous...
Non-monogamous.
Non-monogamous.
and throw in pet play for me and a impacted stub for you, and you're still half vanilla.
Well, there's the other half.
Weird.
Which half? You know what I mean?
My insides.
Oh my God.
I've been questioning my spleen for a while. Spleen.
You're gonna get that pierced.
Spleen sounds like a vanilla organ. I gotta tell you. Yeah. So, moving on, some of these middle of the road ones for me, and we're talking the 40% up to 50% are bottom to top: slave, daddy, mommy, master, mistress, rigger. So I mean, this doesn't surprise me. These are things that I'm not a daddy or mommy, but I'm a caregiver. I like to protect and care.
What was your daddy and mummy at?
42%.
Me too.
I was at 44.
My God.
And so, because again, we're all caring people, and we all like to take care of people, and that I think that's typically what that role.
Yeah, but I don't think that but I don't really subscribe to the
baby
daddy
parent
or mummy play. Yeah.
There's during threshold.
I do I will instinctively look after someone.
Yeah, exactly, because you're a good human.
Yeah.
At Threshold, there's a baby who comes.
Yes.
And I always like talking to them, and because they're so sweet, they drink their drinks out of a bottle, and then full...
And they're gorgeous,
and they're
too.
adorable.
Yeah.
They're so sweet. And I love talking to them, but again, it goes to that care for it. I'm not sexually attracted to this human, but... I am more than happy to take care of them and make sure that they're comfortable and they're sweet and they're nice. Yeah, I like them. But it is funny because I look at this and going, yeah, I get it. I see where I can do the daddy thing. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So for me, the middle ones that are in yellow, going up from 37% to I'm going to say 65 because that's kind of the edge of the yellow green. So I've got Brat Tamer. Would you like to comment on that one?
I just love it's just what's funny that I'm really surprised that you're that high in Brat Tamer because I've seen you air quotes tame a brat and it's just like
I don't have Brat Tamer at all on my list. I've got Brat.
Are you sure? I've got
Brat Tamer.
I'm 9% Brat Tamer, which doesn't surprise me because I broke up with a human because she was a brat.
Oh, sorry, there it is. It's right down the bottom.
Yeah.
But Brat Tamer is someone. Have you ever played with a brat?
It's exhausting.
It's exhausting, and I've seen Angela
masturbation.
She just tries to break them. Like she literally tries to break them.
I'll put up with it for a very short amount of time, and then I'm like, no, you're too much work. Yeah.
I love it. Brat tamers are, in essence, dominants who enjoy handling bratty submissives. They find disobedience a form of playfulness from the side of the submissive.
So that might be part of it, because I do remember a question about. Do you enjoy something about enjoying like your sub talking back or seeing that as part of the play? Now, and that could be why I'm at 37% because for that one I think I was somewhere middle of the road I wasn't strongly disagreeing with it because while I don't typically enjoy playing with brats, I occasionally, and it's more when you're in fox mode, so I guess that goes more to pet play, but when you're in fox mode, sometimes you'll be a little bratty about things. And I don't mind that. If it's the occasional little bits, and then you are tamed quickly. If it's that kind of a play, not like you're a brat, and you're going to be a brat the entire night, that to me is exhausting.
Yeah, it adds to it saying they take no offense to it, but will teach the sub a well-deserved lesson.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So as long as the sub learns their lesson, I'm okay with it.
Well, it's interesting because I'm 36% brat.
Yeah.
And you're 37% brat tamer.
Yeah.
So that's like, in fox mode, I would agree with that, 36% brat.
So then going up for me in the yellow was age player. That was 41% for me.
My age player was...
Really?
Yep.
My age player was 0%.
Interesting. I wonder what put me up at 41.
I don't know. Did you say that you
I got 46% on that.
Wow. Because I remember one of the questions that I went back and forth with was, I like to have sex with somebody of a greater age difference. Which I do, but also, I mean, it's not something I'm seeking out.
Yeah.
And I guess that's why I said 0.
And then for me, 44% was Daddy Mommy, which we've already talked about that. And then 44 again was Degrader, which is surprising that it's that high because that's not something I typically would say that I enjoy.
47 as well as a Degrader. I wouldn't say that I enjoy doing that.
I got 7%. I do like to tell somebody that they're stupid.
We must have answered the same question.
We must have been thinking about it similarly because that's something that I'll do it if that's part of the scene and but it's not something that I'm going to bring out. Maybe with a specific person or if they've asked for it, but it's not something that like you and I. It's not something we're going to do.
Mm-hmm.
So it's not something that I would say really gets me off. But there must have been something. I have no idea what put it up that high. Yeah. And then at 65 for me was Master Mistress.
Yeah, shocker.
So, yeah.
And yours, gentlemen?
What were your yellows? What were your middles?
My middles were Rigger, Primal Hunter was 48, Degrader was 47, Age Player, Dominant, Pet was 43, and then Boy Girl was 33%, Slave was 31%.
So for me, Boy Girl was 9 and Slave was 1.
What does that mean?
What?
Boy Girl.
That's the littles.
Oh, okay, right.
Childlike innocence with naughty sexual curiosity.
Yeah. Again, the baby that comes to Threshold, they're a little.
Right. And then for my lowest one was owner, master, mistress, and brat tamer. They were in the reds.
Okay. How many did you have in the reds?
3.
Oh, wow. I had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9.
I have 9 in the red, 2 in the orange.
I have 9 that are 10% or less.
Yeah, me too.
And then after 10%, my next one's 36%.
My next one's 18 at vanilla. Yeah.
All right.
So-
See, I had a lot in. I had 30s, 40s, 50s, 60s, 70s.
You've got a lot that are in that yellow to light green.
Which kind of makes sense, though, because it's sort of undecided for me. Because
Yeah.
I'm
Well,
still,
like you said, you're still kind of checking it out.
I'm still experimenting. Yeah.
And you can
Yeah.
and you can experiment forever. You don't ever have to
No.
decide that this is something. Like it
So I
can be
suppose
just
that's
yeah.
accurate in a sense, yeah.
Yeah. So, what were your lowest numbers?
1% was owner, 7% was master mistress, and 13% was brat tamer.
Okay.
Which makes sense because
Yeah.
I'm not a master, I'm not an owner, and I'm not a brat tamer by any means.
Yeah.
And you, what was your?
My lowest was 0.
What was it?
Masochist and degradee.
So degradee was 0% for me, as was age player.
Yeah.
I do not like people to degrade me.
No, I don't like that either. No. That's an instant turn off for
That
me.
is an instant turn off. It snaps me out of it.
Yeah.
And then I had 2 at 1%.
I have 3 at 1%.
Sorry, what was that? Degrade. What's the
Degradee.
Degradee.
Yeah, somebody, like, if I, like...
They want to be humiliated by
Yeah.
their partners, degraded by their partners. So,
Okay, see.
like, forced to do things that they consider degrading, the way that they're talked to, that kind of
verbally
thing.
abused.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
Like the, a very common
I've
one.
been verbally abused before and spat on and told me to shut up and take it, sort of thing, and that was pretty good.
I love you. And what was degradee on your number percentage?
62%.
All right, so yeah, all right.
Yeah.
All right, interesting.
But I think maybe whatever question that was, maybe because I was thinking about that.
Yeah.
Could be very situational,
It is
too.
very much not my thing.
But it's also it is situational because it was with one particular partner.
Yeah.
Yeah, who
And I think that's important to remember is that wherever your kinks fall and whatever ends up being, it doesn't mean that you want to do that with every person out there or every
Right.
partner
No,
out there.
yeah, that's a really good point.
It can be,
Yeah.
like in this specific scenario, in a specific place, with this specific person, whatever it is. It can be like, this is my thing, but these are the parameters around it. It doesn't, just because you have a particular kink or an interest or you want to try something doesn't mean that you want to do it with every partner out there or anyone that you
and
meet.
I suppose for me personally, with the experimentalist thing up the top, the one time that that I was regarding to with that degradee one, I did her in a degrading way, and then it was my turn. I was like, okay, now it's your turn, and we were all like laughing and joking, and then it was
I love it. That's just great.
Yeah.
yeah. So yeah.
So
Even being a degradee was experiment,
Yeah.
it was part of the experimentalist of me.
So I've got boy, girl, and owner as 1%. I'm a much better pet than I am an owner.
I've got pet, slave, and primal prey as 1%.
Yeah,
And then-
that makes total sense.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah. And then at 2%, I've got brat, submissive, and rope bunny.
And I've got 3 and 4% sadist, masochist, 7% degrader, 9% brat tamer, and 10% rope bunny.
And then, my 9% was boy, girl. I forgot about that one.
So, I mean, look, ultimately looking at these, I think we pretty much can see ourselves in these.
yeah.
And
well, I've got 90% rope bunny. I've been handcuffed and things a lot, but I don't think I've ever been tied up with rope.
I think that'll get fixed
Oh, yeah, that'll get fixed.
in
Don't worry.
Desire
Oh, great.
this week.
Yes.
While people are listening to this, you're probably being tied down as they listen to this.
Because there's quite a few riggers
Yeah.
and rope bunnies going.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Oh,
Well,
fantastic.
there's a
'cause
whole
I
there was a whole group chat just
Yeah.
for riggers and rope bunnies.
Right.
Yeah. Yes, it's exciting. But it is interesting
am down
because
for
when you
that.
look at the list, like I said, I think we can very much see where we do match up or where we think we match up with a lot of these. But there's also some surprising ones. You're kind of like, I'm not sure how that happened. And I don't know, is it something worth exploring more or not? You
Like
know?
vanilla?
But maybe not that one.
Yeah.
Again, there's
That's
no
only
shame.
that's only 50%, bro.
There's no shame in being vanilla, but goddamn.
Let's try the things over 65, okay? And that's a play on words with the age play.
I can degrade you.
Which I've done.
I could degrade you. I think I would. It's funny because I'm not a degrader, 7%, but there are certain, and it goes back to what we were saying just earlier. There are certain people that I very much could get into that headspace of doing certain things.
Yes.
I don't like brat play. However, once in a great while, once in a blue moon, I don't mind brat play. Like it's kind of fun to put up with that shit.
I remember
sometimes.
you had a partner that came out with some brat play.
Yes, and at the end, I had to break it off with her.
Yes,
was
but
exhausting.
you did enjoy when it came
Yes.
up, and so the
You
occasional.
enjoyed it a bit.
Yeah,
I did enjoy it, but the problem was every time it was always the same.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
that to me.
Yeah.
Maybe I'm an experimentalist. I mean, that to me, it just gets boring when it's always the same and it's always exhausting. And I think that was the problem is every time we played, it was exhausting.
Yeah, right.
And-
But again, it was the variety, which is
Yeah.
But that also goes back to you not being a brat tamer or a true dominant because you don't want that responsibility all the time.
No. And I like, again, it goes back to the Switch. Now, if Angela occasionally came to me and was a brat, like, I could handle that. Let's say once every 6 to 8 months. But
yeah, I'd be too scared to handle that.
well, and looking at
It's like, what is this really going to cost me?
You'll find out.
and it's really funny because we look at degrading, and I'm sitting here saying I could degrade you, gentlemen. However, my biggest problem with degrading is I don't want to hurt your feelings, which makes me a really shit degrader because I'm like, is that your shirt? Is it clean? It looks dirty. Like, that's like the best I can do. Like, look at that penis. I mean, it's a mighty nice penis. But look at it. It wants attention. I mean, I don't blame it, really. I mean, who doesn't want attention? But right now, it's naughty. Yeah, that's basically how I degrade.
You need to work on that.
Yeah,
It's so small in comparison to the Asian and African elephants. As I am to understand it, the Allosaurus had a very large cloaca. I mean, that's basically me degrading people.
Yeah, I think I'd need to be tied up for that. I mean, I'm willing to give it a try.
The safe word is cloaca. Oh my god! So look, I think we've gone through this and we've given people at least a good idea on sort of how to dig through and find your own kinks. A little more insight into our own kinks. Do you have any questions or comments or rude remarks over there on the other side of the table?
No, I'm quite actually happy with that because I kind of didn't think that I had really any kinks to be,
And then now you find out you're a kinky motherfucker.
And I found it. That's true. Yeah, I am a kinky motherfucker. But that experimentalist, I didn't even know that was a thing. I mean,
Yeah.
but it makes sense. Totally makes sense.
Yeah, you need it on a T-shirt.
Yeah.
I tell you what, when you fall asleep, I'll write it on your forehead in permanent marker. That's my kink.
What asshole?
Not to put too fine a point on it, yes. Mine or yours?
Yes.
Oh my god. Any final thoughts from you, Angela?
No,
No.
I think it was interesting to do this again.
Yeah.
Because it has been a little while and some things have changed a little bit, but I remember last time, I'd have to look back at my exact numbers, but I know last time I was pretty polarizing as well.
Yeah,
So-
well, you're often quite polarizing.
Oh, I know.
Everybody loves you. Yeah, well, good. I'm glad that we all sat here and learned a little
Well,
something.
I think that it would be interesting to do even after this holiday has finished
After the completion,
yeah.
and see if there's anything else that I've
Fair
picked
enough.
up or
Well-
become more...
Yeah.
We'll have to screenshot that, and then,
Yeah.
or you can copy. So on the website, there's actually a way that you can copy all of the information and then put it into a PDF. In fact, I'm going to do that right now. And so then you kind of have it, and it's sort of like, this is interesting. We should have done that. Hit the PDF button. because it actually does this like spiderweb graph thing.
Oh, it does too.
That really shows you all kinds of holy shit information. And this is actually really cool. So I would highly recommend. And then it also looks at gender, most common by gender. So you can see where you fit in with other folks of your...
Cool. We'll have to kind of look at that a bit more.
Yeah, it's interesting.
Yeah.
But it is cool to see that, and then I agree to look at it after Desire's over and say, "Hey, have I changed any?
Yeah.
Or am I still the same?"
Yeah.
Yeah. Cool.
Awesome.
If you want to send us your results, email us. We'd love to chat about them, talk about them. You can email us, theatomsoflove@gmail.com. We are on all of the all the socials, Insta, Facebook, Twitter, @ByTheByPodcast. If you want to get your grubby little hands on one of our grubby little cum rags, support us on Patreon, www.patreon.com/bythebipodcast.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, anything else that I've missed?
Geeky Sex Toys.
Oh my god. Fuck. Our friends at Geeky Sex Toys, who are amazing, who provided us with some amazing giveaways. If you're at Desire this week, you get a pass for not listening to us. That's fine, because you are going to be able to win all kinds of amazing Geeky Sex Toys.
I've had a sneak peek at them. They look awesome. I love the toys.
It's so exciting.
Yeah.
And we're doing a special
They're so creative.
quiz to try to give away the greatest of all dildos, the Master Sword dildo, or the Master dildo. The road is dangerous. Take this with you. And so we're very excited to give that away. That's going to be fun. So excited. So excited. Yeah, sorry. Now I'm all distracted by Geeky Sex Toys. Go to Geeky Sex Toys, buy your own awesome, fun, kinky, amazing shit, and use the checkout code ByTheBy, and you'll get 5% off. Mm-hmm. Yay. Yay. And they ship worldwide. Woohoo! So I guess we'll catch you all on the flippity flip.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's time to hit the hot tub.
Exactly.
You betcha. Oh my god, it's going to be so amazing. Okay. Bye.
Bye.
Oh, hello. I didn't see you there. I'm Dylan Thomas, co-host of Life on the Swing Set, the podcast. We share our experiences in swinging, polyamory, and beyond. You're listening to a Swing Set Network podcast at swingset.fm.